Hello and welcome to Young Adult Matters. I'm Miguel Santos, and with us today are Monica Benitez, Ruby Fuentes, and Stephanie Suarez. Welcome. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Super. Today we are going to talk about the laity, lay people in the Catholic Church. And this past December, Bishop Flores, our bishop, decreed that every parish should establish a pastoral and a financial council. So this is another opportunity for lay people to be very involved in parish life. So we're going to talk about that today and how lay people are involved in the Catholic Church. If you're not familiar with the term, what is a lay person? When you hear the laity or lay people, what does that mean to you?
I see it as in the people of the church, the people that work there, from the priests, even our bishop, to the volunteer catechesis and the volunteer teenagers that are putting in community service hours for confirmation. Even they are part of the laity, and I consider, in my opinion, laity.
I guess just one point to clarify is, while we're all God's kingdom and we're all God's people and one body of Christ, typically the laity is defined as those that are non-ordained. So it would be, the church says that the laity are at the front line of the life of the church, but it's those of us that don't have a religious ordination. So, okay. As far as here we have examples of people that have been involved with their parish and the role that different lay people can take in the church. Will you share with us? I know you've been involved with the church for a long, long time, mm-hmm. and a little bit about your involvement and your role in your parish.
All right. Well, I belong to St. Joseph the Worker in McAllen, and I was a cradle Catholic. I kind of grew up. I live like 3 minutes away from the parish, so I was kind of there all the time, and I think it was kind of embedded in me, and so was my parents, my grandparents, to serve the church, and them as lay people as well encouraged me to continue to serve and fulfill my passion that I have to serve, and in growing up in retreats and youth group, altar servers. In my service experience, I now work for the church. I work for the youth ministry office, where I have more of an insight of what it is to serve youth, but also now being on the other side, not specifically during retreats, but also now helping the leaders that are doing the retreats. So we're helping a lot of the parish DREs and things like that, giving them concrete ideas of how to run their youth ministry and things like that. So I like what I do.
And for instance, Ruby, how about you? And I know that both of you participate in your parishes.
Yeah, well, similar to Monica, I too live like 5 minutes away from my parish. I'm from San Juan, so I'm from St. John the Baptist in San Juan. So shout out to St. John's. I was also a cradle Catholic. I went to CCD and everything, and I participated a whole lot in the youth group back in its early days, with when Rick was there, and then when Jesus and Dulce were there, and then Father Joaquin, who is now at St. Anthony in Harlingen. So shout out to Father Joaquin.
Hey, Father.
Hey, Father. Who is also a very big advocate for young adult ministry. He has a very big presence with us. But even though Monica works for the youth ministry, I work for the campus and young adult ministry for SIA. And it is a very wonderful experience, because it not only am I helping those people who are my own age to become closer to Christ, it's helping me become closer to Christ. But not to say that my job is my spirituality, because it is not. It's just because I know that there are plenty of resources out there, and I didn't think that there was. I didn't think that there was something out there for our age group. And I thought afterwards, after youth ministry, ya se acabó, that's it. But when it comes to young adult ministry, there's so many things out there for us, for single and married and stuff like that. And it turned it into a promotion of our of our office.
So after the commercial, no. So I mean, both of you work for the church,
Yeah.
formally, you know, but you don't have to work formally for the church to be an active
Not
part of
at all.
the church life and of the body of Christ. Can you share? You're not formally employed, but you're still very active at your parish.
Yes,
and
I am. I'm Stephanie, and I'm from St. Jude Catholic Church, and I've been very blessed to belong to that community with the Oratorian priest from Father Mario, Father Jose, Father Leo, Father Juan, Father David, and our new priest, Father Nilton from Peru. I've been very blessed to be a part of that community since the age of 3. I started at the age of 3 in the 5 o'clock choir with my mom. And when it was in Spanish, and then once my mom had to retire from that because they changed the mass to English, she said, pues yo en inglés no, sigues tú. So that's when I started to learn guitar, and I started helping out the choir, and now I'm kind of like the music leader, you can say, for that choir, and I'm very blessed to be working with the teens there because it's a teen choir, and I was a catechist for 4th grade First Communion. And I continue to serve the community with Life Teen, the youth ministry we have there. And although St. Jude's doesn't have a youth minister, doesn't have such an active youth group like other parishes around our diocese do, what we do have is Life Teen, and that's really brought me to understand what ministry is and what is behind youth ministry, basically, because that's really keeps me going.
So, you know, wonderful that we have such talented people loving and serving the Lord with their talents. How important do you think lay people are to the life of the church?
Well, one thing I want to address is that most people don't think that they're lay people. Like, I didn't, myself and Stephanie, we didn't know we were lay people. We didn't know we were part of the laity until we discovered what it actually meant. And I mean, whether it's working for the church, like the diocese, like myself or Monica, or being part of Life Teen, or being a Eucharistic minister, an usher, that is being in itself the laity. So a lot of people make up the laity, lay people, and that's just
Actually, 99% of the body of Christ, the church, 99% of us are lay people, you know, more or less. And so again, you learned recently that you are part of the laity.
Yep.
Because it's a kind of big word that we need to understand and unpackage. And
It's a small word with a big meaning, I think. And I, as a misconception, I thought it was just specifically for the clergy. But as you said in the beginning, it is those who are not ordained. But we are all, like the clergy, are called to the universal priesthood, or to be saint-like. We are all called to be saints, and for those of y'all who don't know, the patron saint is Blessed Pierre Joseph Frassati for our CM office, and he was not ordained. He was not a religious. He simply had a lot to give to those who needed spiritual growth, or who needed food or clothing, and he was a young person, died at the age of 24, who gave his life to the people. So that in itself is being a lay person. So you don't have to be ordained or religious and like that.
And I find it amazing how the lay people varies in generations. Just seeing my little brother being an altar boy at Mass on Sundays, and now that I know that he too is a part of the laity, seeing my sister being a lector there, or the teens at my community and at other communities like St. John's and St. Joseph's, serving and having that desire to serve and being a part of the lay, it amazes me how the generations just keep coming into the church.
And have you seen that changed? Have you seen that change, or do you know of it being different? Because it wasn't always like that. I don't know if you're familiar with a Second Vatican Council and how things have changed since the Second Vatican Council to the church that we know today.
Yeah, and well, since then there was more of an invitation to the laity to come out and help support. I mean, like you said, there was 99.9 now we make up the church. And even you sing in the choir, but also people who indirectly serve. I mean, the parents of our youth that bring their children to CCD, they're lay people as well. So you're one person that is going to be helping another person. So you're not just that one person, and all these individuals make up that church. We are the church. So in essence, like everybody has its own role, and this is who we are. So
Now, would you say that the role of the laity, of lay people in the Catholic Church, which means the rest of us, would you say that that is confined to the church, to the parish itself?
No, not at all.
How so?
Well, as long as we have Christ at the root of everything, whether it's in school, at work, in our relationships, whether it's with our friends or in romantic sense, I mean, that in itself is also being a layperson, because you're involving Christ to come into your life. And with that, you, by having him part of your life, the center of your life, it also affects others, like how Monica mentioned, whether it's the mom who takes her son to CCD, that indirectly is spreading Christ to others.
And I think just living Christ-like, maybe not being the perfect person, because at the end of the day, no one is perfect, but just living Christ-like is being a part of laity, and just having Christ within you, like Ruby said, just having that fire burning in you, and portraying that Christian-like, and how you just have that goal and that thirst for God. It brings people in, and just that is being lay people. You're being fishers of men, basically. And
You're responding to your baptismal calling, and in our baptism, we are told that we are priests, prophets, priests, and kings. And what would you say that means? How are we prophets, priests, or kings? Does that mean that we're all priests?
Well, no, so you said prophets, priests, and kings. But as a prophet, we're called to give a testimony of Christ's passion, death, and resurrection. So that's something I recently learned.
Cool. And what about this part where we are all priests? What does that mean?
I mean, I would guess it's the way we show others how we show God to others. I mean, a priest in our